Welcome in, welcome in, welcome in. It's on the Hill Pat Jenkins Sports Talk Radio. It's our Wednesday edition. Yep, it's our Hump Day edition here on KDSJ 479, brought to you from 1 to 2 p.m. Monday through Friday. And no particular guest. We may have Jeff Tarpley of 247 Sports, covers the A&M Aggies. Out in CStat. He's momentarily scheduled to join us at 1:30. He had some things he had to take care of, so hopefully Jeff will be able to talk with us about Jimbo Fisher and his, how they're handling the return of the Ags back in CStat and just a lot more. He made a statement several days ago with the situation we're dealing with on the national level, and we'll get his take on just what he felt. Um, you know, Jimbo meant by that. The sincerity, and I'm gonna be honest, it's about sincerity. Coaches can say it, Demetrius. You can say it all day long. I can be PC, but it's am I genuine and am I real? That's where we're at. I see on social media and you see on TV a lot of national media coming out after the assistant coach there in Clemson made the racial statement several years back. But at the same time, Dabo Swinney has a chance to come out right now, and the silence. Right now, silence is not good. It's just absolutely not the way you want to be um, if you're a collegiate coach.
Yeah, I think it's crucial for these coaches to come out and say something. I think you just told me there was a picture of Sam Pittman out on the square yesterday in Arkansas's protest over there, and I think that was great to see. I think when you're a new coach and you're establishing yourself and your mores and what you stand for, I think it's crucial that you really put action behind there and you put yourself out there and put the work in behind it. And I think I commend Sam Pittman for taking the initiative to go down there and stand because he's a big figure. He has a big influence on people accepting what's really coming to change.
I mean, it's just unfortunate that we're here at a time in the year 2020, and we're still dealing with some of the issues that I, as a young man, and my mother and uncles and fathers and my grandparents dealt with. That's the unsettling part, and where I'm at. And I'm not trying to make this a political show today, but I'm gonna keep it a real show. And I think right now athletics plays such a big part in our lives. I know, I can remember, Demetrius. I don't know. You may feel the same way, but I know I remember my athletic coaches more than I remember my teachers, and that's just the way it is. I mean, because of the bond, the adversity constantly, all the time during a competitive sport that you go through with this particular individual. I mean, they get to know you in ways your athletic coaches. Uh, they get to come through that adverse moment and the growth process with your teachers. I mean, that's what do you think, D? I mean, they're just your period to period. But I mean, how many trips are you taking on a Tuesday night? And after school's out, I think that's just a difference.
Yeah, it's just a different type of grind. When you come from those hard backgrounds, you just don't have the luxury of sometimes even enjoying it. You have to look at it as a means of business and a job. As this is what these kids have to do to really change the direction of their families. So some of these kids, football is all they have, or I should say, it's the beginning of gaining more. I don't want to say football is all they have because they definitely have more. But a lot of these kids' situation, they're the first ones to go to college in their immediate family, or they're the first to go on a full ride scholarship, or they're the first to even finish, or have the ability to go through and finish college.
Right.
So, again, I think it's crucial that all these coaches come out and make a stand and speak on behalf of these student athletes.
I mean, that's what they say. This gonna be real. It's going to be a big turning point, I think, Demetrius, in all collegiate athletics. In particular, the SEC, ACC, Big 12, those schools that put a high emphasis on recruiting the South. I just think this is going to be a real big period. But, we tentatively, like I said, we're hoping to have Jeff Tarpley of the 247 Sports covers the Eddie Maggies for us here on OTH momentarily joining us at the 1:30 hour. But up until then, we wanted to do it on Monday, but we're going to come back with it. After the break, we're going to open up the phone lines. And you all can call us at 601-7400 with any of your questions. Call in, let us know what's going on. We had it out. This week's topics were your expectations for the football team under Sam Pittman. How are you as far as the branding of the program, which I think, Demetrius, really blows my mind to still in what they were able to do that last month of recruiting, and all the kids we've had on, and how highly these kids, and they're all across the country, how highly they place Arkansas staff when you start looking at these lists, when they're chopping it to their top 14, their top 7, their top 8, 3, 5. The Hogs are always in that.
Yeah, I think it's huge. Again, I'm going to just kind of correlate that back to what I was saying about Sam Pittman earlier and taking a stand. I think it's going to be a huge recruiting tool. We kind of talked about it off air about how a lot of these coaches, the way you get these kids is through their mothers. And it's going to be easy for especially African American mothers to see the compassion and the relationships. And, Sam Pittman having guys getting drafted and they're talking to Sam Pittman as, oh, you're like a father to me, and you can tell it's genuine, and they're crying. Those are things that mothers really pay attention to. So, again, I think when you look at Sam Pittman and the resume that he's put together just on this offseason and some of the bold moves and some of the things he's done and the way he's marketed the things he's done, I think he's done an excellent job. And again, I think as years to come, people are going to really, really, really embrace what it is that he has. And I think when you look at it, I think he's one of the few coaches that really does what's best for the athlete. It may not be in the athlete's best interest to stay another year if he knows he can go get him out in 3 years and get drafted in the first round. Sam Pittman's not going to try to talk you into staying here to try to win a national championship. He's going to say, hey, although I do want you, I'm not going to tell you I don't want you. He's going to keep it straight, and he's going to keep it 100. I do want you to come back, but if I was you, with all the things in your favor, I would tell you to go to the NFL. And there's not too many coaches that would lose a star player and be okay with that. But Sam Pittman, again, I think he's the type of player coach that wants the best for his teammates and his players because he has a father-son relationship with them.
And we're going to let you hear our sit-down that we had several months ago with Coach Sam Pittman. It was about a 20-minute interview. Got a lot of really good meat and potatoes, and got a chance to see off into Coach Pittman's vision for this football program going forward. We asked him some real direct questions, wouldn't you say, Demetrius? I mean, they were really direct questions, and he gave us really direct answers. So we're going to play that throughout the show, and we're just going to let you get your take. And then when we come back, the phone lines will open. You can talk to me and Demetrius here at OTH. You can reach us at 479-601-7400 with all your questions. We can talk about the must-busts, neighbors, baseball. We can talk about football. I know you want to talk about football because the Hogs are coming back. They're coming back to the Hill. But we're going to take a break. We'll be open to talk. It's on the Hill with Pat Jenkins on KDSJ 479. Back in a moment. I mean, how does that resonate with you? I mean, you and I had a conversation a long time ago, but it's a reality. I mean, how does that resonate with when you hear that head coach at the University of Arkansas?
I don't know. It hits me as an honor. Sometimes it hits me as really, and sometimes it hits me kind of scary, well, we got to do this. But it's truly, truly an honor that each and every day I feel grateful for. I mean, I really do, and grateful for the men around me and certainly the state of Arkansas. People are so different here, and so passionate, so caring, and I can't tell you how many times in our staff meeting I've said that's an Arkansas thing, and it's always in a positive way. But people, they'll say, well, no, I ran into Walmart and this happened. I say, hey, that's Arkansas. You're welcome. You're welcome that you were able to come to our state. So yeah, it's been overwhelming a little bit, and it's been an honor.
Talk about that process. Must have been pretty exciting for you. You get done with the SEC championship game on a Saturday, and then almost within 48 hours, you're here in Fayetteville being announced as the head coach. Talk about that process.
Well, it was Oh, there's little rumblings here and there during the week of the SEC championship game, and then on Sunday is when everything really kind of got rolling, and they came to see Jamie and I and sat out in our home and wanted to visit a little bit, and of course we were excited, you know. To be honest with you, my hair was a little too long, so between working there at Georgia and Hunter and John and Steve Cox coming to the house, I had to get a haircut, so I went to Supercuts and I put my cell number in. I was number 19. and so I was 19 and I had 59-minute wait, and I had about an hour and 45 minutes before they were going to get to the house. Right. But they came in the house and we visited and interviewed or talked or whatever you want to call it. And then after that, maybe an hour into the conversation, Jamie and I was offered a head coaching job here at Arkansas, and
Welcome back. It's our Wednesday edition here of OTH on KDSJ 479, and we let you hear our sit-down that we had back in February. For those that missed it, since we didn't have a lot going on, I know everybody didn't get a chance to sit down and view our one-on-one we had with Coach Sam Pittman. And, you know, like I said, we're going to continue to play that throughout. But let's talk about that roster. I know now with the young men starting to report back, the upperclassmen will be all back on campus on Monday, followed by several weeks on down the road, the freshman class. We're going to have football. So we got to start talking about the roster. I mean, Arkansas to me, and I was on a show 2 days ago, the Drive at 5 with Jake Wimberly out of Jackson, Mississippi, and, you know, talked Arkansas football, Demetrius. And I'm going to go ahead and say the most important player, in my opinion, I know a lot of people are going to sit and say Rakeem Boyd, and rightfully you should say that. But it's Felipe Franks. He will be the most important player for this football team and the success going forward in 2020. And the reason why I say that, I know some people are like, what? The most experienced guy who's won football games, particularly won bowl games, beat Michigan. He's a 10-3 quarterback heading in, and they're undefeated at Kentucky when Felipe goes down. That lets me know he's a 6'6", 250-pounder. He's mobile. And go back 2 years ago, same numbers that Joe Burrow, last year's Heisman Trophy, had going into last season. Same exact numbers, a little bit better. But you're getting a quarterback that has won and played in really important football games multiple times against Georgia. We all know what he had to face. Georgia's played in the SEC championships against the Sam Pittman-led offensive lines. You know, you play Florida. You've played LSU. You played Alabama. I mean, Felipe's battle tested, and that's why I think his leadership and maturity is something this team really, 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 really needs. Because when your quarterback has a linebacker mentality, and we had a chance to see Felipe up at SEC Media Day, he's not a small kid by any means, Demetrius.
Absolutely. I think you nailed it. I think if you look at the roster, not that everybody can be replaced, but I think a lot of the roles are going to be done by committee. You know, you look at the running back. Of course, Rakeem will be the featured back.
Mm-hmm.
But like we were talking about yesterday, T.J. Ham is going to get in there.
Traylon Smith.
Traylon Smith is going to get in there. So
I think he might be the sleeper running back.
Oh, he is definitely, and he's unknown. You know, a lot of people don't even know what type of running back he is. They haven't had a chance to see him just with him transferring.
They should have a 4 running back rotation.
Hey, like Coach Smith said, it's enough room for everybody to eat. You know, the running back room don't get full. So
right.
That's even example of how he's already laying out that we're going to use a multitude of running backs in this offense so everybody can stay fresh and really perform at their peak.
I like to hear that. Hey, you've been on point, though. I'm pretty sure our listeners, you got to tell football season getting back.
Hey, you know what I'm saying.
You got to tell. We look around the corner and, you know, he's starting to wake up. He gets a lot more excited, more talkative during the show, during football season. So, yeah, I like that.
Yeah, but going back to Felipe Franks, you know, I think another reason why is he has to be the leader for this team,
Yeah.
especially on the offense.
Okay, now my question to you, and like I said, if you want to get in, you can call us here at 479-601-7400. If you'd like to chime in with the conversation we're having now, hey, make yourself free. We agree to disagree. All conversation is good conversation as long as it's conversation in my book. But what will be the role that you think KJ Jefferson plays?
I think KJ is going to be the game manager. I think there's going to be situations where you're going to need him to do some of the things that maybe Felipe Franks doesn't need to be put in the position due to his injury that he had last year.
Right.
You know, there may be points where you need a dual threat, and you're just not sure if Felipe can go out there and do that on a high level those first 2 to 3 games. But I think once you kind of know health-wise what he can and cannot do in the games, I think it better suits of how KJ will be used within the offense. But I definitely think KJ will have packages built for the type of player he is.
Well, we're going to take a real quick break, and then we're going to let you hear more of our Sam Pittman sit down. And if you have any questions, you can chime in. It's On the Hill with Pat Jenkins on KDSJ 479. Let's get it.
Mess it up. But to hear it was incredible. And then we had a little bit of time after that to go call my 3 sisters and my brother and some, Todd Ross and Brandon Adam, guys that mean a lot to me. And we were able to talk to them. And it was a exciting, incredible day and moment. And then next thing you know, we're flying in here and talking to the team that night. So it all happened really fast.
The part I wanted that stood out to me, you stepped to the podium to be named the head coach, and just the instant emotion.
Yeah.
Where did that come from?
Well, I think a lot of it came from many years of wanting something like this, but it was University of Arkansas. It was just different. I mean, I had wanted to be a head coach for a long time, but Arkansas, I mean, come on. So it was gratifying. I think part of it, when I first took the job here at Arkansas, and to see my mother and father's face and how excited they were that I was here as the O-line coach, and then to come back as the head coach and being able to talk to my brother and my 3 sisters and all that, it was an incredible moment.
When you talk about being a head coach here at Arkansas, a lot of people say Arkansas is different. It's very unique, and you have to get a coach that gets it. And you had time, 3 years under Brett as the offensive line coach. Do you think that was that something that helped you kind of understand what it would take to take this head coaching job and lead this program?
And I think exactly that's I don't know what you believe in your life personally and all those things, but I believe that I was here at Arkansas for a reason the first time, to get ready for the coming back. And so I learned a lot about the state during that time. Of course, I was, grew up across the state, but close, 70, 75 miles from here at Grove, Oklahoma. So, but I think all that happened for a reason. And if you really want to know the truth, every fan base is passionate about whoever they love, Georgia fans, Georgia or Georgia Tech or whoever they may be, or Oklahoma State or Tulsa or whoever. And of course we have Arkansas State here as well. But in the state, if you're a Razorback, you've probably been a Razorback for many, many years.
Right.
And you're born a Razorback. And so those things are so unique here. The people are so kind. And to be honest with you, I want to be the guy that came in here and we were able to turn the program back to where the University of Arkansas should be. And I wanted that burden on my shoulders. I wanted it. Because I knew I could hire people around me that felt the same way, that could coach and recruit. And we've done that. And so I wanted that pressure. I certainly have it, but I wanted it.
Initially, first day on the job, Brad Davis, the guy that you recruited to Oklahoma, coached. You know, he was in the building, but nobody knew Brad was in Fayetteville. Talk about that staff, and you know, why was Coach Davis the first hire that you brought to Fayetteville?
Well, Brad, I knew, in my opinion, that he, you know, he's the top offensive line coach in the country. I knew who he was. You know, to be honest with you, I feel like Brad's my son. I mean, I do, and I know he's not. You know, he's got a wonderful mom and dad. But I felt that way about him. I've loved him for a long, long time, since he was 18 years old, and I've been involved in his coaching searches, and hopefully I had some influence in some of the jobs that he was able to get. But I mean, you're talking about a guy that's been offered basically every job in America, every quality college job, a lot of them, let's say that, in America. And when I called him, it was like, for you? I said, no, for Arkansas. He said, I'm there, you know, and he came, then he stayed, because he's had several offers since he's been here too, and he stayed faithful to the university and to the state and to myself, and he was the first guy. And, you know, I had been in contact with Barry when I thought maybe possibly Barry Odom, and maybe possibly I'd get the job. And I understand Barry turned some pretty nice jobs down himself to come be with us at Arkansas. So we kind of got it started rolling a little bit. And then, you know, I was sitting here on my phone rings, and if I don't have a contact, it doesn't come up with a contact, then I'm not going to answer it, and I'm not better than anybody. I just, you know, I no telling who it is, and maybe I didn't pay my credit card or something. I don't know. But it was Kendall Browse, and I picked it up, and there was no contact on it, and got to talking to him too. So that's how he kind of got in the mix. And you know, then we just went out and tried to find guys that were good that we played against. Right. I really wanted SEC experience on our staff, because I just feel like you need it, and you need it in every aspect, but you need it in recruiting, because the world is just different in the SEC. And you have to understand the league to understand what kind of talent you need to have success in this league. And I wanted to surround myself with guys that understood that. And so I think we did. And I'm, you know, every morning, 7:30 in the morning, I'm talking too much right now, but every morning, 7:30 in the morning, we have a staff meeting, and it's everybody in the building is in that staff meeting, because I want us all to be together. I want us all to be loyal to each other, and I want us all to understand the expectations that are in the building and for the university. And those meetings in the morning, I can't wait to get to. They're outstanding. We kind of pump up a different individual every morning. Somebody maybe even on the periph that they don't get to talk a lot in there, but we want to hear their voice and something that can make us better. And everybody's important. And we need everybody in our organization to be the best at whatever their title is. We want them to be the best in the country, and we feel pretty solid that we're on the right track.
Coached at multiple SEC stops. Coach Smith there at Missouri.
Yeah.
Coach Dickey at Tennessee. You come here. Brett Bielema at Arkansas. And then you move on to Georgia with Kirby Smart. In your press conference, Coach, you mentioned that while you were at Georgia, it was like recruiting on steroids. What was the one thing that you took from Kirby Smart that you can apply to the aggressive recruiting style here at Arkansas?
It was the relentless effort and the relentless accountability of recruiting. In other words, I can tell or ask someone to go out and recruit, but if there's not accountability into it, then you can slip. In other words, if I'm going to ask somebody to do something, tomorrow I'm going to ask him the result of what he did, then he pretty much going to do it. Right. And so I think that was what I learned from Kirby the most in recruiting, was that if there was something being asked, there was going to be an accountable answer for it soon. It might be 15 minutes, it might be the next morning, but hey, I'd like for you to do this, and then I'm wanting to know the answer. He wouldn't say that, but you knew that eventually within the next 12 minutes to 12 hours, you was going to have the answer for whatever the question was. I think that was different than, hey, I know I hired a lot of great recruiters.
Welcome back. Welcome back. We have a special information. We will let you continue on with our sit down with Sam Pittman as we're trying to connect on. We've been notified that Sam is in the process of having a teleconference that we'll be able to live stream. So as soon as we make connection with that teleconference, we'll be back with that audio from head coach Sam Pittman. So enjoy, and we'll be back. This is On the Hill with Pat Jenkins on KDSJ 479. Let's get it.
But you certainly don't want to lose. Lose a kid in recruiting because somebody outworked you for it. And I think that's what I learned from Kirby.
Looking in the SEC West, LSU just won the national championship under Coach O. When you see coaches like Coach O, get a job that he wanted, state of Louisiana, how much does that motivate you to think maybe, Arkansas, I want to be here, and maybe that could be me at that stage? One time, is that a driving force for you?
Well, quite a bit, but I will say this. Coach O, you can tell his passion for Louisiana, and I know they're a rival school and they're in the West and all this, but I really enjoy watching him talk and watching him speak about go Tigers, and because I know how passionate he is about the program that he's in, and I assume what he did, he went and hired who he felt were the best assistants for his job that he had and let them coach, and certainly that's what we're trying to do here. We're so far off from Coach O and all that, so certainly there's no comparison there. He's already proven that. But it is very awesome to see how he feels about Louisiana like I do about the state of Arkansas.
A lot of other coaches. Coach O is just one. You'll be going against the likes of Saban, Jimbo Fisher. A lot of coaches in this league that's coached in national championship games. Some have won.
Yeah.
Head coaches or coordinators. How exciting does that make the staff, you guys as a whole, feel to be able to match wits in the coming years with these great staffs and programs?
Well, certainly, you mentioned, Nick Saban and those guys. I mean, those guys are legends in the college football world. But once you get on the football field, it's all about the preparation that you've done through the season. It's all about what kind of game plan you have, who do you have, matchups, all those type things. And really that doesn't come into thinking. I can remember the first time we played Alabama, I looked over and I was going, well, we're playing Alabama, and it was kind of like, wow and all that. And then after the game starts, it's, we played them right out here and they beat us 14-13. But once the game starts, it's all about your kids and do you have them ready to go? Do you have them prepared and all that? But certainly the names that you just said of coaches, it certainly solidifies that one of the greatest leagues in the country is the SEC West.
You talk about your strength and conditioning program, Coach. What's your philosophy as far as strength and conditioning goes for your football program in the SEC going forward?
Well, I think if you look at our team right now, we have to get bigger. So we hired Jamil Walker from Georgia, and we have to get more physical. We have to get bigger. We have to get faster, all those things. But what we're trying to do is we're trying to instill discipline and confidence in the weight room. And but we have to be a bigger football team. Games are won on line scrimmage in this league, and we have to get bigger physically. We have to recruit bigger on the O and D lines. And certainly skill matters, all that. I'm not saying that, but if you can't win up front on either side of the ball, you're going to be in trouble on a Saturday. So we're trying to build confidence in that room.
Two quick questions. Recruiting territories. How will you break up?
I think we're going to have 10 in the state of Arkansas. We've already broke that up, and then I believe we're a regional recruiting base. In other words, I think if you're touching us, we're recruiting you. So obviously Oklahoma, Texas, the states that are touching us. And I think we're going to have a presence in Georgia because I was in Georgia, and I think we are going to have a presence in Georgia. We'll always have a presence in Florida. But we're trying not, it's not about the number of schools you see each time you go out. It's about the people you affect and the knowledge you've learned when you went into the school. I don't care if our coaches go 8 schools. I'd rather them go 4 and make sure that they got the knowledge and they affected people in that school when they went in.
Last question, Sam. Is Arkansas, will this be your last
stint
in college coaching?
This is it. No matter, this is it. This is my last job. I've been privileged to be the head coach, named the head coach here, and this is it. As long as they'll have me, then we'll just stay right here and see what we can get done.
And final message to the Razorback Nation. If there was one message, and everybody, whatever Sam Pittman says at this point, they want to listen to, what's that one message that you want them to know, for this football program under Sam Pittman?
Well, we want them to know that everybody in this building is proud to be here. I think that's the biggest thing I want them to know, and then I want them to know that we're going to work each and every day because we want to make the state proud of our football team. You see what's going on in basketball and in baseball and all the women's sports and all that. We want to be a part of something. That sign right there says you're not coming to play for the University of Arkansas, you're coming to play for the state of Arkansas. And if that's the case, we want to make the state proud of us, and that we're working each and every day to get that done.
Well, Sam, we welcome you back to the Hill, hopefully for a lot of successful Saturdays, and just want to thank you for taking time out.
Appreciate you, man. Thank you so much. Great interview. Appreciate you.
And can I get a yes, sir, to the camera?
Yes, sir.